Hello all, nice to see you here again. Welcome to this new RhinoGold Webinar, episode 4. As always, let's wait for a few minutes and let everybody log in. As you can see, here are the events where we are attending this March. There is this New York MGSA show from March 8th to March 10th, as well as we are offering an open house on the 11th of March, as well in New York. We can give you more details if you're interested in the chat. After that, we are going to be in Toronto in this free seminar with our reseller Schiller. It's going to be a 3-hour session where we are going to see RhinoGold 5 as well as the 3D printer machine Soit Escape. And we will end the month in Baselworld. This is probably the biggest and most international jewelry show in the world. It's an 8-day show, so you can imagine how big it is and how long it is for the ones that we are exhibiting. But it's a very nice show. So we will be back in 2 more minutes. Let's wait for the rest to log in. And by the way, if you happen to be around any of these shows, please make us a visit, and we can have coffee or chat. We will be back. Thank you. Hi everybody, we are back. Welcome to this new RhinoGold webinar.
Xavi, your microphone, it's it's with problems, so maybe.
As always. Okay.
Yes.
Let me join you.
Very good. Sorry, everybody. Let's just wait 1 more minute to fix this problem with Xavi microphone.
Okay, sorry, we are back. As always, my computer is having problems with the voice. Anyway, welcome to this new RhinoGold webinar. Today is already episode 4, and if you are still here, so that's very good news for us. Thank you all. This is Xavier Rofes, Sales and Marketing Manager here in TDM Solutions, the one that bother you with hundreds of emails every single day. Of course, if you don't want to receive my emails any longer, well, then purchase RhinoGold. Just kidding. Even purchasing, I will keep emailing you. Well, next to me, there is my workmate, Pedro Loureiro, CAT and Training and Technical Support Manager. Hi, Pedro. How are you doing?
Hello, Xavi. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another webinar. It's a pleasure to show RhinoGold in action once again.
Very good. And in the next room, there is Enrique Del Molino, one of the main developers of RhinoGold, and probably the key guy to make everything work. Hola, Enrique. Nice to see you again here in the webinar.
Hi, Xavi. I'm glad to be here again.
I'm happy that to have Enrique here again means that he enjoyed answering your questions last week. So keep asking today so Enrique can keep helping you. Anyway, let's move. As always, we are TDM Solutions, company in Barcelona. By the way, today here is almost 20 degrees Celsius. Seems beginning of May. It's absolutely great. Anyway, sorry, RhinoGold is our solution for jewelry design, but we have others such as Cleyu, RhinoEmboss, RhinoNest, Skinny, RhinoShoe, and RhinoMall. Even you can contact us anytime. We have over 75 resellers all around the world where you can contact them anytime too. So we keep presenting RhinoGold 5 and how to use the main tools of this jewelry solution we develop. And we hope that you learn from it. Today, actually, we published the RhinoGold 5 service release 1. So if you already are a RhinoGold 5 user, probably you have noticed that on your RhinoGold it pop up a message saying to update. Just click there and you will find the installer. If you want to see all the news and improves, it's very easy to check it out. It's on tdmsolutions.com/blog. You will find this PDF with all these news and improves. It's about, I don't know, 6 pages of news. So take your time. So today we will design this bed bangle. As you can tell, this is very classic jewelry, no? The reason we are creating this original bangle is basically to show you RhinoEmboss, this tool in RhinoGold to create advanced reliefs. We think it's pretty easy to use. Just using curves and making simple operations, you will see that very easily you create different reliefs. So another tools that we will see today is, of course, some 2D tools to draw the shape of the bed. We are going to see the dynamic profile for the bangle and the decimator to reduce the weight of meshes. It's quite interesting for printing. And hopefully today we will be able to see the render studio for Iron. What do you think, Pedro? Do you think we will have time to show the render today?
Yes, I believe so. Let's start and then let's see the questions. But I believe this one will be done in the 1 hour we have. So let's go.
Okay, so let's go. Remind you to ask anything on the chat. And Rick and myself are willing to help you out however. So Pedro, it's your turn. Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Xavi. Thank you, everybody, for attending. Let me start the webinar. Let's open RhinoGold, and now let's start with this model. So I'm going to start with an image. Usually we can use any image. In this case, I have one image in here, and we can just drag to Rhino. So the idea is just define a picture frame, and now I can define 2 points. Actually, in the top view, it's easier. So I just define the first point and then the second point. Remember, you can use the ortho to automatically define the image correctly. So the idea is to define the image. In this case, as you can see, it's not a high quality image, could be any image or a sketch or a photo. So the idea is to guide us during the modeling process. So I'm going to use this image, and in the properties tab, I will select the material and I can define the transparency. So in this case, I will define a little bit more transparency, as you can see, just because I want to see the grid when I am creating the curves. So this is the idea, just define more transparency. And as you can see, the image is not perfectly centered. So I'm going to use just the drag, just click and define the image in the center. And now I'm going to lock the image. So to do it, just go with the lock and unlock. Remember, we need to use the shift. So I'm going to lock this object, and now when I select it, it's locked. So it's helpful in order to create all the curves without being always selecting the image. Okay, now let me just adjust everything. What I'm going to do is to start by creating the curves. So all the curves under the drawing tab, we have all the curves tools. And in this case, I'm going to start with the Smart Curve tool. And I'm going to activate the Grid Snap option just to start the curve exactly in the midpoint, because in the end I will create the symmetry. So I start with this grid snap activated, then I can disable. And now the idea is to define my curve just following the image. So as you can see easily, I can follow the image, just defining the curve. And one thing we have in this point, I want to create a sharp corner. So to do it with the Smart Curve tool, I just need to press the Shift key, and automatically I generate a sharp corner. So now I can move on with my curve following the image, and in here I will do exactly the same. With the Shift key, when I click to define this point, I define a sharp corner and I follow the image, just defining some points. Remember, of any moment we can edit or even undo the curve. And once again, Shift to define a sharp corner and following the image again. So this is the idea. Very easy, as you can see. Just find some points, as you can see. And now I'm going to follow this shape all around easily. When we need to define the curve, we need to, in this case, with the bend, the curvature, we need to define more points, but then it's just to find the points we need to follow the image. In the end, I'm going to activate grid snap again, just to define the midpoint exactly what I want, and press enter to end the curve. So as you can see now, I have this outside curve, and I'm going to save my file. So in the desktop I can call him bat bracelet. Okay, in this case save, and now I'm going to move on with my model. So the next step, I'm going to define the rest of the curves. I will need to start with RhinoEmboss. So the next step, I'm going to define the body. So to do it, once again, Smart Curve tool. And now in the command line, I'm going to use the symmetry option. So I just click on symmetry, and I have vertical, horizontal, and quadruple. So I'm going to use the vertical option, and also the closed option I will turn on. Everything in the command line, and disable the grid snap. So the idea now is to define the body. So as you can see, automatically I have the symmetry for my curve, and I'm going to define the curve like this. Okay, looks good. Also, I will define another curve, once again with Smart Curve tool, and once again with the vertical symmetry activated and close it activated. So now I define another curve in here, and let's move on. We'll define now another curve in here, just using the Smart Curve tool. As you can see, just defining the points, and I can create my shape easily. In the end, I just need to define close it in a command line. Okay, so now once again Smart Curve tool, and now I'm going to start in here. So to make sure I'm going to start in this curve, I'm going to activate the near option to make sure I'm going to start exactly on this curve. So I start the first point on the curve, and then I follow my image. As you can see, I don't have a high quality resolution in this image, but it's good enough to define my model. So I just follow the image. In this case, the last point is not exactly what I want. I just can do, in the command line, I can undo the last point and adjust exactly how I want. So in the end, remember near again to make sure I'm ending the curve in the other curve. And let's go again, Smart Curve tool. I start my curve, follow the image, and this is the idea. Easily I can define my curve. In the end, remember to use the near option, and the last one in this part, I'm going to use Smart Curve again. I start in here and I follow the image as reference. Okay, so in this area I zoom in and I create a few more points to make exactly as I need, and I define the rest of the curve. As you can see, the last point I use the near option, and as you can see, we are creating all the curves following the image. So now I need one more curve in here. Once again, smart curve. I start maybe a little bit inside, and I can go through this area and finish with the near option again. Okay, remember, if you have any question, use the chat, please. My workmates will be answering and help you. I hope the delay between my screen and the video, it's not too much, but remember, we are always recording these webinars in video, so we will publish this webinar after this session. Okay, I still need a few more curves. I'm going to define now smart curve again, and I'm going to define one more curve to the eyes. Okay, so just one side. I define a curve. In this case, close it on and press enter. And another one for the nose. Okay, smart curve. In this case, as you can see, the image is not exactly in the center, but I can adjust the model how I want, and then I create the symmetry, so it's very easy. Okay, now I close the curve once again, and I'm going to create another one in here. So smart curve, I'm going to define close it, and I start inside and I follow the image. As you can see, the resolution is not very good, but it's good enough to use as reference. So I just define the points like this. The last one. Okay, enter in the end, and looks good. Let's just now I'm going to create the symmetry. First, I think I won't need the image anymore, so I can go to this toolbar, the viewport toolbar, press shift, and now I can unlock objects, and I can select my image, and under the layers panel I can create a new layer and right click on this new layer and change object layer. So I can change the image layer, and I can also hide this layer. So this is the curves I have created, and now the idea is to create the symmetry. So I want to define symmetry for this curve. Now with multiple selection I will use the shift, so this curve, this curve, this curve, this, and finally this. So the idea now is to create the symmetry. To do it, under the Transform tab, I'm going to the Mirror submenu and Horizontal Symmetry. Okay, so now I still need a few more curves. Let me adjust probably in here back to Drawing tab and Smart Curve, or in this case just a line would be enough to close this curve. So just activate the endpoints and disable the near. So from this endpoint to the other endpoint. I can create a close this part. And as I told before, any moment we can select the curve and edit the point, so I can easily adjust, for instance, these points. I activate the gumball and I adjust a little bit. So this is the idea. And in this case, I believe it's good enough, so I won't change so much my curve. And now I will create another curve in here to the nose. I just enable the symmetry vertical and close it. In the command line, I have the option, and now I create another curve in here for the nose. And probably some more curves just to define some texture in the model. I will define now open curves. And so I'm going to define in one side. So I start in here, something like this. Enter to use the same tool. So once again, I can define a few curves in here. Okay. Looks enough. I select all these curves and once again transform tab and symmetry horizontal. As you can see, I have almost all the curves. I need to join and I need to close some parts, so let's see how to do it. Now I have all these curves and I'm going to select all of these curves except this one. Control to deselect, and now I'm going to group these curves. So drawing tab, and I'm going to group all these curves. So as you can see now, I just need to select one and all will be selected. I'm going to hide just a little bit. So remember to press Shift to have this viewport toolbar, and I can hide these curves. Now I need to join this with this one. So remember to select, I use the shift key for multiple selection, and now join tool. Okay, I will need, as you can see now, I have some open curves, and I will need to create some to close these curves. So let's see how to use now the Boolean curves. So the idea is when I click on this tool, I need to define first to select the curves I want to use. So in this case, this one, this one, this one. First, I'm going to escape because I want to join this part with this part. So select both and join. So this is the idea. As you can see in the properties in the side panel, we have, when we select any object, we have the information, object type, closed curve. So it's important in this case to be a closed curve. Let's now use the Boolean curves. So I select the Boolean curve tool, and I need to select the curves I want to use. So first step is to select all these curves from this side, also from the other, and also this one. And the idea, now I will use also this. So no, I can use this one as well. So I press enter and I have some options. I can delete all the input curves. In this case I select and I will say none, so I don't want to delete any input curves. And also I can combine regions. So what is combine regions? I can select, I want this part and this part. So automatically I create, as you can see, a closed curve from all these curves. So I press enter in the end and I have my closed curve. And also if I select again, as you can see, I have one curve and the other. So the original one, as I said in the command line to keep all the curves, now I need to delete manually. So just delete from the keyboard the open curve, and now I only have one closed curve. So let's repeat this Boolean curves operation now to the other curves. So once again, I'm going to use the Boolean curve tool. I select the curves I want to use. So in this case, all these curves, also this one, enter. And now, once again, delete input curves. I will say no, any of the input curves. Also, combine regions. In this case, I will say no. So the idea is the part I click inside, it will create a closed curve. As you can see now, all this area, it's a closed curve. Automatically, it trim the other curves and close this one. So I'm sure I have a closed curve. I press enter in the end, and this is the result. As you can see now, I can select in here. As you can see, I have the options to see which curve I want to select. I select this one and delete with the keyboard. Once again, the same to the other side. I select the open curve and delete. I'm going to do the same with the others. The curves I don't need, I select and I delete. And the same in here. And the same in this side. So delete, I select the curve to make sure it's the open curve and delete from the keyboard. And now I believe I have, as you can see now, it's closed in this side, in the here, so we have a closed curve. And the same in here, so this is the idea, and I'm going to show the open curve. So in RhinoEmboss, we will see that we can use open curves and closed curves. Now, I'm going to start with RhinoEmboss. Also, I can show a small trick, just because sometimes we are defining very small objects and we need to use very high resolution. Of course, we can use this very high resolution, but it will be a little bit let's say slow in the computer when we are defining lots of operations with a high resolution. So a good way to change it is just select my in this case the curves I want to create the reliefs. I activate the gumball and I can easily scale my curves to the size I want. So in this case I won't need a very high resolution and I can create a bigger relief, and in the end I can scale down again to the scale I want to use my model. So this is a good option to avoid very high resolutions. We can easily scale in this case all these curves. And now I'm going to start with the RhinoEmboss. So the idea is, under the Artistics tab, we have the RhinoEmboss icon, and the first step when we click on RhinoEmboss is to define the project settings. So we have several type of options. So in this case, I want to use core, which means that I'm going to define a flat bottom to my relief. And I want to delete the base, so which means that the relief will end with the curves. Instead of being a square, I'm going to delete the base, and I can also define the cap distance. In this case, I'm going to use 1 millimeter. As we have seen before, the resolution, we can use any resolution. Remember, bigger resolution will be slow performance or probably a big file size. So let's try to make a good resolution, but probably we don't need the maximum. Let's see, any moment we can adjust everything, and of course the measures of my project. So I just want to make sure it's bigger than the curve, so in this side and also in this side. And now, of course, the material, in this case, I will keep the material. And now when I check in here, automatically I will have the RhinoEmboss panel, and I can start defining my relief. So I'm going to the perspective, and in here I'm going to start defining my bed. So the idea is I add a new operation. The first step is to add a new operation. Operation type, it's operation by profile. By default, I will keep this operation. And I need to select a curve to define this operation. So I click in here, and I need to select one curve or multiple curves. In this case, just a single curve. I will select the outside curve. I press enter, as you can see in the command line. After selecting the curves, press enter, and automatically I have my profile applied on the curve. As you can see, this is the profile. I can use the gumbals to change the measures. Remember, with double click I can define the measure exactly I want to use. Let's try 1.2 millimeters. And also the profile is this one, but any moment I can select the profile, and as you can see we have several profiles, and of course you can add your own profiles. So this is the idea. I select my profile, and now I define the measures, and in the end I just need to refresh to calculate the results. So as you can see easily, I generate my relief from the first curve. This is the idea. It looks good. I will keep exactly like this, and I can use this icon to hide the gumball. So as you can see, with this icon I can show and hide the gumball for this operation. So I can hide this gumball, and now in this next step I'm going to add a new operation. And now operation type, I'm going to define a curve. Well, I will keep using operation type. By default is operation by profile. We will see that we have several different operations. So operation type by profile, I select my curve. In this case I'm going to use this one. And as you can see now I have my curve. In here I can define with the gumball the profile, and in here the same. So the idea now, remember, we are defining the profile exactly on the curve, but in the operation settings I have the style defined as add, so which means that it's going to add this profile to the previous one. So I just need to refresh, and it's calculating the results. Okay, this is the result. I can of course adjust a little bit less and probably a little bit in here and refresh again, but looks good. In the end I will use the smooth to break all these sharp corners. Also we have by default for each operation the auto smooth. We can disable it, as you can see, and refresh again. So this is the idea. I define my first in this case the second operation. I can hide the gumball, and now I'm going to add a new operation, operation type by profile, and I will add another curve, in this case this one. But now instead of add this curve to the previous one, I'm going to the project settings, in this case the operation settings, and I'm going to define the style. Instead of add, I'm going to define highest union. So it's like a union, a Boolean union operation. So the biggest one will be in the top. I will define this profile a little bit bigger than the previous ones. I adjust the measures as I want, and I refresh. Okay, as you can see now, instead of add to the previous, it's making the biggest one, it's following exactly the curve, so I can reduce a little bit, and in here as well, refresh again. Let's see the results. Looks good. And I'm going now to move on to the next operation. I'm going to add a new operation, and I'm going to select the curve, in this case this closed curve. Okay, so I just define the gumball. Remember, we can hide the previous gumballs, and in this case I'm going to define a little bit smaller and refresh. Okay, as you can see now, the option was add to the previous operation by default, so it's adding to the others. What can I do is, instead of using this in the bottom, I can use this operation before the others. So to move operations, I can use this option to change the position. As you can see now, I moved the operation number 2 with the number 3, and I refresh to check the results, and as you can see now, easily I can change the operations, and I will just need to adjust a little bit the results, but this is the idea. Now I'm going to hide this gumball and show this gumball again, and I'm going to adjust in here and refresh. So this is the idea. As you can see, easily we can adjust operations between, change the order, and this can be really useful. So now I'm going to move on for the next operation, but before I'm going to add a new operation, and I'm going to use operation type smooth. So I just want to smooth my project a little bit, so I can use, as you can see, the smooth. I have a circle, and I just need to click and smooth. Easily I can smooth my sharp edges. So this is the idea. Easily I can smooth some parts of the project. Also in here I can smooth a little bit. Just click. Of course, we can define in the operation settings different smooth levels as well as the diameter from my circle, so I have complete control. And the same in here. I will smooth in this area as well. As you can see, easily I can smooth this part. And now I can smooth a little bit more. And now I just turn off the smooth operation, and I can hide the previous gumball. And I'm going to move on. So the next operation, I need to add one other curve, in this case in the bottom. So I'm going to select this one, and let's see the results. Adjust the gumball. In this case, I will use, once again, instead of add, I'm going to use highest union, and let's refresh to see the results. As you can see, highest union, it's not enough to show the curve, which means that the profile it's needs to be a little bit bigger, something like this. So refresh again, and let's see the results. Okay, as you can see now, it's good enough. Maybe I can add a little bit more and refresh again, but this is the idea. Add, and of course in the end I will smooth. So let me hide the gumball, and as you can see, the butt is getting shape. Now another operation, select the curves. I'm going to select this and this, and now I don't want to add, I want to subtract. So under the operation settings, in the style, instead of add, I'm going to use subtract. So this is the idea, just define subtract. Now we can adjust the profile. As you can see, it's in the bottom. You can adjust the 8, everything from the profile. So it will subtract to the other profile. I just refresh, and easily I have the profile subtracted. In this case, I'm going to change a little bit the distance and refresh again. Just remember, we adjust the gumballs and refresh to update the results. Okay, in the end I will smooth all these curves, so I will leave it exactly how it is. Hide the gumball, and now I'm going to add a new operation. The curve, I'm going to use this and this one, enter, and now I'm going to use once again operation type. I'm going to use the highest union, and I just need to adjust the profile, in this case to be bigger than the previous one, and refresh. Let's see if it's enough. It seems enough. I can even add a little bit more, but looks good enough. Refresh. So this is the idea. Operation by operation, we are defining our reliefs. And now I'm going to the latest curves. I'm going to add a new operation, operation type. In this case, operation curve, I will choose this one, and it's add by default. I just need to adjust the gumball and refresh. Okay, then I will smooth this curve. Actually, I can smooth now. So just add a new operation, operation type, smooth, and I just need to smooth my shape. As you can see easily, I can adjust exactly how I need. The same in here. I smooth this area, and the same to the other side. This is the idea, very, very easy. And probably a little bit in here as well. Can smooth a little bit. Looks good enough. And now I will add a new operation. Select the curves, in this case the eyes and the nose. So in this case, once again, instead of operation type, the style add, I will subtract, and I just need to adjust the gumball exactly as I need, and refresh. Let's see the results. Looks good. And finally, one other operation to all this group. In this case, we will see that this is open curves. Let's see the results. I'm going, as you can see, the high. I can hide and show the results. So I can just hide the relief just to define my gumball. And now the idea when using open curves, the reference, it's the curve, so I need to adjust distance for the original curve and the 8. Of course, I will subtract, so it will be exactly the same, but to the bottom. So I just need to adjust the gumball, the 8, and finally show the results and refresh. Okay, this is the idea, just to add a small texture in here. I can, of course, add a new operation to smooth, so select operation type smooth, and I can easily smooth a little bit my operation, the previous operation, just to show you that easily with a few curves we can actually define easily our model. So this is the idea. I would say that now I have all the model defined with RhinoEmboss, And of course, as we have seen, it's very easy to add more curves, more operations. I would say that with RhinoEmboss we can create lots of different models. And after this, when I define everything with RhinoEmboss, I just need to check in here, and RhinoEmboss will generate my relief, so it will generate the results. So at this moment, RhinoEmboss is generating the results. And let's see what happens now is that automatically it will open the decimator. So let's see what is the decimator. The decimator allows us to reduce the file size, the number, the mesh, the resolution of the mesh. And the idea is to reduce using a percentage, any percentage. For instance, let's see 50%. I will zoom in just a little bit to see the difference between the original mesh and the result. So when I select 50%, it will calculate the mesh, and as you can see, we don't see a big difference, which means that we can decimate without lose detail. For instance, if I use 10%, it will be probably too much. In this case, we can see that we still have the details, but probably is too much. This operation, the decimator allows us to reduce the file size, but of course we need to be aware that the scale, the real scale from our object, it's important, because sometimes we are defining very small objects, and the detail we lose, it's not enough to be seen after printed. So always remember to have in consideration the real scale from the model. In this case, I can use any other percentage, or I can of course use the original one. I'm going to use 70%. I think it's enough. In here we can see the number of faces and vertices from the original and from the decimated. So as you can see, we can reduce the file size. It can be really useful. And now I just check in here to add the relief, in this case the result, to the document. Okay, so as you can see, it was successful added to the document. Let me change the display mode. I can of course apply any material. Let's apply, for instance, yellow gold. And now, as you know, RhinoEmboss, I define a flat object in the bottom. As you know, RhinoEmboss generates flat objects, but I can use any transform tool to adapt my object exactly how I need. So I can easily bend my objects, applying other objects. So I can use all these tools to define what I want. So in this case, I want to define a bangle. So I'm going to define in the front view. I'm going to the front view to define the curve from my bangle. I'm going to use under the drawing tab the ellipse tool, and the first point will be, I'm going to remove the endpoint, and I'm going to activate grid snap. So first point, I'm going to define the 0, and then I just need to define my measure. So I will define to the size 33 millimeters, enter, and now remember, I'm just defining one side, so I know in the other will be so 66. So one side, I click, and the other the same. In this case, I'm going to use 22 to have 44 total. So I have the curve from my bangle, and now I can scale again my object. Let me select all the curves, middle mouse button, select all the curves, and deselect with the control the ellipse. and I can create another layer, call it curves, okay, and change object layer, so I can hide the layer and hide all the curves. So now I can easily scale my object. Let's use the the gumball and scale my object to have the size I want. Remember, press Shift if you are using the gumball to scale in 3 directions. So I scale my bat exactly how I want, and remember we scale in 3 directions. In the front view, probably it's recommendable to scale now in just 1 direction. So if we don't press Shift, we can scale easily in 1 direction. Just to make sure I will have the measures I want. Remember, you can use the grid as reference. I want to have at least 2 millimeters relief, so I can select my object and I can scale a little bit more. Something like this seems good enough. Back to the perspective, and now I'm going to place, in this case in the front view, I'm going to place my bat in the top of the curve, and I'm going to use in this case the bend tool. So the bend tool allow me to, under the transform tab, allow me to define a curvature to my object. So I just select my objects to bend, enter, and now as you can see I have these gumballs, and I can use these gumballs to bend my object. So drag the gumball down, and as you can see the symmetry, it's activated in the parameters, so I'm doing in the both sides, so a little bit less, okay, and as you can see easily I can bend my relief, and this is the idea. Now I have the result exactly as I want. I click OK, and now I can select, adjust the position, and I'm going to use the dynamic profile to define the rest of the bangle. So jewelry tab, dynamic profile tool, I select the curve where I want to apply the profile, so I select this one, and I define the measure. So in this case I want to use with 5 millimeters, and 8 I can use 1.2. Enter again. As you can see, the orientation is not exactly as I want, so easily I can rotate. Let's try 90 degrees, enter. It's not the correct orientation, so let's try again now with the 270 degrees. Enter, and now this is the orientation I want. I can save, so I can add my profile to the document. In this case, I can even adjust a little bit more my bat in the bracelet. So this is the idea. Easily I define the relief, I define my model, and I can select this curve, change once again in the curves layer, so right click, change object layer, and as you can see easily I have my bangle ready. As you can see, RhinoEmboss it's really easy to use. Now I would say that this would be the idea to create this project. Probably I see that we still have a few more minutes. I will just create a render, just make a render from this model. So to do a render in the right view, I'm going to select, let me change display mode, I'm going to select my objects, and I'm going to rotate a little bit to define the render position. So let's imagine the floor will be in here, so I rotate my model. back to the perspective, and I can define the position. And to start the render, I go to Render tab, and I open Render Studio. So automatically, as you can see, the background is changed. It's because Render Studio load the environment to make the render. And now I can easily define the material. So I select my objects, and let's use metal sandblast. So double click, and we apply the material. And now I can easily sorry. And now I can easily define other parameters. I can add ground, and of course, once again, let's define the ground material. Let me use, now I select the ground, and let's try this one. Looks good. Let's see the results. So I just need to define under the Render tab, define the resolution I want to use, define the position, and click on Render to start the render. So as you can see, I didn't define any number of passes or any number in time, so it will start rendering, and I will stop the render when I say it's good enough for me. So as you can see, it's calculating the render. This is the result. Let's see. It will take just a little bit more to clean all this noise from the image. It will be improving the render. So let's wait just a little bit more. As you can see, now I have already 700 passes with only 40 seconds. So let's see the render results. Okay, I believe the render it's good enough. Let me stop the render, and as you know, we have the Render Studio image editor. We can add more contrast, more brightness. We can add our own logo. For instance, I select one image from here, and I can move my image. I can also scale the size of the image. So easily I can define my render and of course save my file, in this case as render, and this is the idea.
Very good. Pedro, can you hear me correctly?
Yes, Xavi, go ahead.
Okay, guys, what do you think about RhinoEmboss? It's quite good, no? Pedro, they were asking here, not only in RhinoEmboss projects, but in other projects where they want to place one, let's say one object like this bed, but in another. And I guess the splop tool is actually the ideal one. May you show in a, I don't know, in a new project it's okay just to use just to see the splop tool?
Of course, it's a good idea. Actually, I could use in this project Splop. Splop allow us, and of course I can use in a RhinoEmboss project or any other project. For instance, let me create a ring just to show you how it works. So easily I define a ring with the ring wizard just to define and one object, and now let's try to splop one object, any object, into this ring. Let me use a standard text, so it will be good to show. Hello. It's also a good.
Hello, Pedro.
It's also a good option, and I will define solids. So just define the measure just to show you. So in this case, I will use, I believe 5 millimeters would be enough. Okay, and I define my letters in here. So the idea is to define any object or several objects. Could be a RhinoEmboss project or any other object on and place this along other surface. So the idea with the Splop tool, it's actually a very powerful tool. We just need to use the Splop under the Transform tab, and the first step is to define the object to Splop. So in this case, I select all these letters, I press Enter, and I need to define the center of a reference sphere. So this sphere will be used as reference to project my objects to another object. So more or less in the middle, I define the center of my sphere, and now I define the end of my sphere. So this sphere will be my reference. When I click, the next step is to select the surface to splop on. So I select.
Pedro, do you click enter or right click in here?
Actually, I'm using always enter, but right click, it's inside RhinoGold. The right click, it's exactly the same as enter. So remember, when we click on enter, it's the same if we right click with the mouse. And actually, now I just, after defining the surface, I define. Now, as you can see in the command line, it will give me the instruction. So I need to define the center of the sphere in this surface, of course. So let's imagine I'm defining this sphere, but now in this one. So I click on the center of the sphere, and now I just define the direction, and with the direction I define also the scale, the rotation. So the size and rotation with the second point I can define easily. So now I can define just the second point, and as you can see, I press enter in the end, and I apply one object, or in this case several objects, on other object. This is the idea from the Splop tool, and also it's a very powerful tool to use after create a RhinoEmboss project to apply the relief on any other shape.
Very good, thank you, Pedro.
You're welcome.
Today we are just 8 minutes out of time, so Pedro, can you just go back to the PowerPoint presentation?
Of course. Here you go.
Okay, do I have?
On. I believe it's okay.
Okay, just 2 minutes as always, trying to convince you to purchase RhinoGold 5. As you can see here, the prices. So if you are a new user, you have nothing but nothing. This is what you have to pay, $29.90 US or euros. If you already have Rhino 5, and I believe most of you have only Rhino 5, RhinoGold 5 is only 2,000 US or euros. And at the end, if you have RhinoGold 4 or a previous version of RhinoGold, you can just upgrade to RhinoGold 5 for $8.95. And how to purchase it is very, very, very easy. You can contact us anytime or go to our website to rhinogold.com/buy. But first of all, I recommend you to check if you have a closest reseller on rhinogold.com/dealers. Select your area, and then you will see who is the one who's working next to you. And just to finish, just to show you what the next webinar will be. It's going to be in March 17th. Next week we will have no webinar because Pedro, myself, Enrique, as well as Rafael, we will be in New York having so much fun. Sorry. But we will be returning here on March 17th with this model. We title it Cabochon is the New Black. It's going to be a very nice project, I think. We will use dynamic profiles. We will use gems by curve. We will use mill grain, and of course the Cabochon Studio, and the head studio as well. Am I right, Pedro?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. We will use all these tools, and if we have time, we will see alternatives, because I would say that there are always a different way to create the model. So it's good to have an alternative way always.
Very good. So as always, you can register for free on rhinogold.com/webinars. And as always, keep asking us all the time, today, tomorrow, and during the weekend, whenever you want, 24/7. You can email us to support@tdmsolutions.com if you have any technical question, or if you just want to insult me, you can do it on info@tdmsolutions.com. And we are always happy to help you. As always, thank you very much for registering to this webinar. Thank you very much, Pedro. Thank you very much, Enrique. You always do a perfect job.
Gracias, gracias. Thank you very much, everybody. And as always, it's a pleasure to have the chance to show RhinoGold, and I'm glad the people it's attending. It's very, very good for us, and as always as well, the videos will be shared after the webinar.
That's right. That's right. I always forget something. Yeah, we will publish the the video afterwards. Again, thank you very much. Hope to see you on any of those shows we mentioned, on New York this weekend, in Baselwall. I was going to say Canada, but we are not going there. Just our partner Schiller. But hope to see you very soon in any of these shows. Have a great morning and evening. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye bye.